All right, this is going to be the final video in California in a while. We are heading out to Japan tomorrow, and I actually feel extremely unready. But the more I thought about it and the more I reflected, I actually am not necessarily not ready. It's more so I feel this feeling of having not quite done enough, having not quite accomplished the things I set out to accomplish while here in California. I knew that I was going to Japan at the 3 weeks ago when I booked the flight, and I made a video actually related about it, talking about how sometimes you just gotta get ready. I called it like fake it till you make it, like just a sort of spin on it. And basically, what it is like, you know, you're not going to be ready. You're always going to feel a certain level of unreadiness. But once you set the date, once you have like the thing that you kind of have to do, like you got the interview or something like that, you have to prepare for it. You have no choice. And what I did was, yes, of course, I'm going to pack physically and I'm going to like prepare physically, but mentally, I feel like I was just completely battered. Like the things that I set out to accomplish, I just did not do. So, for instance, one of them was completing a music album, like my first original music album. That was something I really, really wanted to do before leaving to Japan, but I did not get that done. That was one of the main reasons I set out to do that whole like 30-day challenge with creating original music, which I completely and utterly failed. And I can blame the holiday season, I can blame the fact that I didn't have that much time, but I could have done better. I know I could have done better. And I had like basically a 30-minute reflection session of just like feeling terrible, like feeling like I basically failed in so many regards. But after that, maybe around the 20-minute mark, I started being like, okay, just because we failed, it doesn't mean we're giving up. It doesn't mean like we sit in this feeling of frustration and continue to pity myself. I need to get up and I need to try harder, basically. So I wrote down the five major things I feel like I failed while being here in California, and basically the next steps, what I'm gonna do while I'm in Japan, basically to make up for the fact that I failed. The first one I already mentioned, the music album. Um, I basically needed four more original pieces, and I created, I guess, not necessarily even one. I created like maybe a quarter of one and a quarter of another one. So that was really bad, and I'm going to finish it while I'm in Japan. Before coming back, I'll be probably in Japan for around 3 months. So I'm confident, and I'm very confident that I will finish it before then. The first thing I'm gonna do once I'm in Japan and settled in is go to Yodobashi and buy an electric piano. One of the ones that I practiced on a lot while I was there, probably. One of the cheaper ones for sure, like under $400 probably, and just you know use that to continue to create music. And then the next thing we have here, I actually have like a notebook that a friend gave me for Christmas. I forgot to take this off, but the next thing is Zero Entertainment. I 100% failed that. Like, if I maintain that, I know for sure I could have done way more and been more productive because I sunk time into like stuff that I did not really at the end care about. Like, I just wasted time basically. So while I'm in Japan, well, I know I said this like plenty of times, but and obviously I don't. There's basically a podcast that I record into like every day. So sometimes whatever I say into that podcast, I don't say here, but I switched modes 2 days ago, right about 2 days ago, where there was just this completely distinct feeling of me being angry with myself and just like I know it's like maybe you can call it toxic feel, but I felt angry and I felt so frustrated. The same feeling I had when I started my Zero Entertainment Challenge back in what was it like September, and I did it for 35 days straight. Um, Total success, and it was easy. Like I didn't even have to try. I have the same exact feeling that I got 2 days ago, and today, yesterday, the day before that, all clear, like nothing. And I don't feel a single desire for it at all. Like it's just a completely different feeling. The way I described it was like there's a switch that got turned off, and then now a new switch that got turned on. Like the version of me that is super hyper focused and has a goal in sight. And also, I replaced the feeling whenever I think about like watching entertainment. I think of a goal that I made for myself, which is to reach $3,000 in 1 month for YouTube. For this channel right now, it's my personal channel. I'm not monetized, so I get zero. um, but it's actually kind of close to being monetized. So I don't know. Once it's monetized, we'll see. But for my main channel right now, I'm making very, very little because I have not done much with YouTube last year, like at all. I uploaded what 5 or 6 videos that were really not that great, and so right now, like I think the most recent month I earned like maybe 200 something, so that's like extremely little. That's like nothing. So I need to increase that to 3,000 before I even like consider watching any entertainment because like doing YouTube and like gaining the skills for making video and all that stuff, that's been something I've been doing for a while now, like almost like 5 years. So what am I, where am I at? What am I doing? Like I can't be wasting a single moment on that anymore. And like I said, same exact feeling. The switches have been flipped the right ways. So zero in Japan and until I earn 3,000 in 1 month, and then I'll lift that restriction from my life. But it's not going to be like a 30-day thing. It's just going to be an infinite thing until I reach that goal. And it's been working really well so far in the past 3 days. Just like whenever I think about it, I'm like, instantly my brain switches to, oh, I need to meet this goal first, or oh, like don't even think about that. Like we got to do this. So now I'm like constantly thinking about that goal and thinking more on like how do I reach that goal. So it's like a little bit of hypnosis on myself. And then we also struggled to maintain a certain strength level. Um, Basically, after my challenge for 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups, I started doing more stuff for cardio fitness instead, and that's been going like not bad. Like we've been definitely a bit more consistent with running, but the challenge is like going to Japan and continuing to run. That's the real challenge. But for this one, I feel like I failed in the regards of like keeping up with my strength for push-ups and pull-ups. I feel like I still do it like 4 times a week, but in much lower numbers. And I'm like, I feel weak again. I'm like, I need to maintain that. Otherwise, what was the point of it? So in that regards, I also feel like I failed because I should have noticed that I should have noticed that immediately, but I didn't act on it. And I feel like I did notice it, but I didn't act on it, like I said. Stupid. It was just a stupid like decision. So once I'm in Japan, I'm gonna be consistent. I added that back to my habits because I previously archived the habits of push-ups and pull-ups with the numbers. So now that I have it unarchived and active again, every day I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna increase the numbers as I go. It's so easy to just like, you know, walk out, do 10 push-ups, and then increase the number and then do it again later in the day. And it's not that hard of a challenge to accomplish. I lowered the numbers slightly. I made it 80 push-ups and 30 pull-ups. So it's going to be a lot easier to actually do it every single day, instead of the 50 and the 100. Although for push-ups, it's not that hard. So eventually I'll increase the numbers as I get stronger again. But I need to like just do that forever because otherwise I'm just going to lose strength. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do in Japan. And then for number 5, piano by ear. That is something that was pretty consistent until I visited Japan in November of last year. And then towards the end of the year, once I got back, it was just inconsistent. I feel like I got rusty for that 3 weeks because I didn't practice at all. And then like I lost the consistency, even though I started a new challenge and have been trying to get back on it, which it's been a little bit rough, I'd say. But once I'm in Japan, it's got to be every day. It has to be. Like that's when I was doing it every single day, for the 100 days. Because there were like some periods of time where I was like doing it maybe like 5 or 6 times a week, which was still good and I was improving. But the period of time where I did it for like 2 or 3 weeks straight and was just focused, like I noticed the most improvement. And that's obvious, right? Because you're actually doing it every day and putting in the time and effort. So for Japan, once I'm there, it's easy. Like playing by ear, a lot of the skills in that video, if you're ever interested in playing piano by ear. The most important thing is to practice your listening skills, and I can do that on the train, on the bus, like just listening to music and like really hearing and feeling out what it is and knowing what note it is without a piano. Like I can do that. Like I have that ability already. I just need to like hone it, practice it, and focus it, and make it instantaneous. So there's really no excuse for not practicing this skill every single day. Like I'm more than capable of doing that without a piano. And then the last thing that I said that I would try to do before going to Japan is increase my like income from like freelance and all that stuff. That is something that I didn't do. So what I will do while I'm in Japan is try to increase my income from my own projects like YouTube and Skillshare and all that stuff. Is try to increase it by about $1,000. So we'll see how that goes. And that's pretty much it. My failures while I was still in California, all the goals I had that I wanted to accomplish before like going to Japan that I failed at. But I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue and finish them off or like continue them while I'm in Japan. And that's honestly one of the reasons I'm going there. I'm going there because I want to really, really practice my skills with creating content. And I feel like it's just a great place to do that. And yeah, and also I love it there, and my girlfriend's there. So there's just so many things about Japan that I love, and I feel like it's gonna bring out the best of me. But I have to stay focused and not like the first time around when I went for language school. I met a lot of friends. I hung out with them all the time, went out all the time. I was unfocused. It was fun. It was one of the most fun periods of my life for sure. But this time, like I'm going there to really reach my potential, to like bring out my potential and just like focus and do it for with a purpose, do it with a goal. That's why I'm going there this time, and I think it's gonna be like probably the most I'll ever grow from this in a long time. Like or maybe so far basically. Like the most I'll ever grow with my skills with creating content will probably be in the next 4 months. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be crazy. I like the plans I have. I feel like it's gonna be fun. Okay, I'll catch you guys in the next one. This was basically just a little bit of a reflection before I go because it is the last video in California for a while. But you know, I will be back this year, so it's not that long, but it feels long. It feels long. It feels like it's gonna be long. Okay, catch you guys in the next one. I'll be in Japan. Peace. Where's the off button?